Hello, what is up guys? This is Delta Warfare and this is my first how-to video tutorial on my channel, guys, and I'm wanting to actually do more of these on my channel every Tuesday, but that's if I have, a certain video to actually do. So if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below, guys. That would actually really help me out here. But yeah, so I actually am going to start this off by showing you guys how I actually make my thumbnails and stuff like that. And one person actually suggested how they actually saw my thumbnail, and they was wanting to know how I actually got this rainbow outline on the gun and things like that. And I'm going to be making this thumbnail here that you see. This was a thumbnail for one of my videos, I use every gun video, and so yeah, I thought that would be a good example how to show him and stuff like that, and also how I actually make it. So yeah, anyway, I got some stuff open here that I actually used on that one thumbnail right there. So yeah, like I said, this thumbnail is already made, but I'm going to remake it for you guys and show you how I actually done it and stuff like that in this video. So we are going to get straight into it. We're going to close out of this, guys, and we are going to go up here to File, New. Now, all the stuff in this video here, guys, you can do it your own way. Be creative and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be just the way I make it and things like that. Be creative and stuff like that. But anyway, for the width, I do 1280 by 720. That's just what I do for every thumbnail that I have made. You can do 1080 if you want to. It doesn't really matter. I stick with 1280 by 720. So go ahead and click OK once you got your width and your height, and this is of course going to pop up. Also, I forgot to mention, I'm using Photoshop CS6 for the people that was actually wanting to know that and stuff like that. But anyway, so we got a 1280 by 720 project here, I guess you could say, and what I start off with is this right here. So in the video, I was actually on the map. I was playing Call of Duty Ghosts. It's my series. I use every gun, and I was on the map Prison Break, and as you can see, here is the map Prison Break right here. Okay, but as you can see, there is the word spectating, and also if you see on the left right here, there is controls. And those are going to look bad for a thumbnail. I mean, you're going to want those out of there. So the way we do that is this is what I normally do to get those out of there. I go to the left over here on the navigation bar, whatever you want to call it, guys. But anyway, you go over here, I guess your tools menu, toolbar, whatever, and click the crop, and it's going to bring this up. And all you have to do is click and drag it. So those are out of there, and what I like to do is get it as close as possible without actually seeing it, I guess you could say. So yeah, that's actually what I do. And once you got it, guys, that's actually how you crop a picture, I guess you could say. And once you actually got it, guys, go ahead and hit enter. And there you go. So we're gonna go ahead and over here to the left and go to my move tool, and we're just going to click and drag it to the untitled project here. That actually did not work. Let's see if we can do this again. I don't know why that wouldn't have worked. No, it did work. Okay, so just apparently it worked and it didn't like pop up or something, or I didn't see it pop up. I'm not sure. But anyway, so yeah, there we go. There's our picture. What I like to do is actually go to image, and I go to auto tone, go back to image, auto contrast, go back to image, auto color. And as you can see, it actually changed the picture a little bit and stuff like that. I think it looks good that way. Maybe you don't, but I mean, hey, that's the way I like it. But as you can see here, we got some white, bars here, I guess you could say, and we're going to want those gone as well, but we're not going to crop it out because we want this to actually be 1280 by 720. So what we're going to do here is make the picture actually bigger. So what we're going to do is actually hit Control T on the keyboard. Hold them, press them at the same time, or you can hold down Control and press T, whichever, it doesn't matter. And then you can see that it actually outlined it with the picture, and it's got the bars on, or the squares, my bad, I'm sorry. But yeah, you can see the squares and stuff like that. So what you're going to do, guys, is go ahead, hold down Shift and drag on one of these squares here, or even the line, if you will. It doesn't really matter. But go ahead and hold down Shift and drag it. What this is going to do is it's going to drag it, but it's also going to keep the aspect ratio of the picture. So yeah, that looks good right there. And as you can see, we got this white bar at the bottom. Hold down Shift, click and drag. There we go. And once you're done with that, just go ahead and hit enter. And there you go. You got a nice background and stuff like that. So it looks really nice to me, but it's not over yet. So let's go back here and actually exit out of that. Go ahead and click no. And let's see, we need the gun in here. So for this thumbnail and the video, I was using the Vepr, and here is the Vepr from Call of Duty Ghosts. That was what I was actually using in the video, and I wanted that to be on my thumbnail. So actually what I done, we can actually exit out of this as well. But yeah, what I done was basically went to Google and downloaded a picture of the Vepr, and yeah, that's basically what I'd done. So anyway, guys, as you can see, the gun is way too small, guys, and we need to fix that. How do we fix that? We go back and go to Control T, and it's going to actually outline the gun if you have it selected over here. But if you dragged it on to your background and stuff like that, you should have it selected. Don't forget to actually hold down Shift while you drag it. And you can drag it however big you want it, guys. But since this is actually a small gun and it's not really a big picture at all, and when you stretch it, it's going to be pixelated. That's not going to matter too much. I've already tested this out, and it still looks fine, even though in the picture here it's going to look pixelated. It'll still be fine as long as it doesn't look that pixelated. If you're worried about the pixelization, I guess you could say, then you got to try to find maybe a bigger gun and stuff like that. But this works, for just like a display, for this video and stuff like that. But anyway, so yeah, go ahead and stretch out your gun however big you want it, guys. Don't forget to actually hold down Shift when you do this. So yeah, I actually want to center this. That looks pretty good. The gun looks pretty good. I kind of want to center the gun though. So go over here to your rectangle marquee tool and actually just highlight the whole thing, the whole picture. And then we're going to go up here to the move tool, and we're going to click this align layer, I guess you could say. Yeah, align vertical. We're going to click that, and then we're going to click this one over here, and you're going to align it horizontal, and it actually it puts it in the middle of the picture and things like that. So I actually like it that way. And at the top, press select, deselect, and it deselects the whole layer and things like that. Okay, so that looks pretty good, of course, like it is, but it's still not done yet, of course, and we got some more stuff to actually add to it here, but we're going to do that later on in the video, of course. But anyway, go ahead and hit right click and do layer 1, and that's going to select the background here, guys. And go ahead and go to layer style blending options, and this is what I do for the background and stuff like that. I do bevel and emboss, and I do contour, and I don't even mess with it. I just click it. That's all I do. Stroke is where the rainbow stroke is going to come in. You go to fill type, gradient, and you're going to click on the gradient box here, and we're going to click on the rainbow right here and click OK. And we're also going to do reverse reflected, but now you're saying, okay, I can't see it. All right, well, that's actually, you know, a good question to ask, I guess. But anyway, we're going to go to position, and we're going to go to center or maybe inside. You'll find out once you actually change the size. The size is up to you. I'm going to actually, you know, make it 50 just so you can actually see it, guys. So I'm going to change it to 50. As you can see there, you can actually see it now, and then you can adjust it to your liking. I like it to where it's just like a, you know, a line and stuff like that. You can see it, but you can't really see it. I hope that made sense. I know that didn't make sense, guys, but anyway, I don't really know how to explain it. But I like to make it around 20. That's actually too much, so let's move it down to 10. You have to experiment with it a little bit, guys. Yeah, you have to experiment with it. It might be safe to actually go to 5 here. No, so we're gonna keep it on 10. You just have to experiment it and stuff like that. All right, so yeah, the stroke, that is how I get the background stroke on my thumbnail and stuff like that, guys. So I like to do a inner glow. The color over here, just click on the color box here and go up to white, and blend mode right here, just click on it and go to normal. Opacity, I like to change it to 35 and the size 11. I don't really know if this makes a difference for the background, but I like to do it. It kind of gives it like a glow and stuff like that. You know, that's just me, guys. That's just me. But anyway, so all this stuff I don't really worry about for the background, except for outer glow. I like to give it a glow. Like I said, I don't really know if it actually, you know, changes anything or not, but basically this glow is the same as the inner glow. Change it to white, change it to normal, opacity 35, and also the size 11. And we're pretty much done with the background. The background is done, so just go ahead and click OK. Go back to your gun is what I normally do. So that's layer 2 right there. And we're going to go to layer style blending options. And yeah, we actually go to bevel and emboss and contour here. And like I said, we don't mess with that. We just click it because it looks nice the way it is. And I'll let you guys see that. Just kind of like makes it, you know, the picture pop a little bit. But anyway, stroke is the same way we done. We're going to put this rainbow stroke same way as we done on the background here. And the way we do that, go to fill type gradient and go ahead and click on the gradient box and go to rainbow here. As you can see there, I got a rainbow outline on my gun and it looks pretty nice, but I like to do reverse reflected. Seems like it looks a little bit better, and you can even change with the size. I think the size actually looks good the way it is, but you know, you can actually change it. Let's try changing it to 5. I don't like to change it too much. I don't like to go over 5, but let's change it to 5 and see how it looks. Yeah, see, I don't really like that. That's on 5, so we're going to change it back to 3, and that's the way I like to do it. So I don't use the inner shadow, inner glow. Once again, the same. Just go to color white, normal, 3511. 3511. All right, that looks great. Okay. And it just kind of gives it like a glow and stuff like that. I think on the outside, or well, that's the inside inner glow. The outer glow will be like on the outside, and yeah, so it just kind of gives it like a little glow. Stain I don't use, you know, all that I don't use. I actually just go down to outer glow. Once again, the same thing. Color white, normal, 3511, of course. 3511. And now this one is still not done. I use a drop shadow, And the blend mode, I use normal. Opacity, I use 100. And you can see in just a second, once I put the distance on there, I use distance of 20. And as you can see, it kind of like popped right here. It gave that nice little, shadow and things like that. And I actually think that looks pretty darn nice. But I like to change the size to 10. And it kind of like seems like it, fades it out on the edges. So I kind of, like that. So we're actually done with the gun as well, guys. So, and what I like to do once this is actually finished, once I get done with the gun and stuff like that, I actually like to add, since it is Call of Duty Ghost, I like to add, the Call of Duty Ghost logo. I usually add it, right here in the corner right here. And yeah, that's basically where I put it right there. And I do layer style blending options. And I do the bevel and emboss, contour. And, that makes it, pop and stuff like that. I don't give it a stroke. The inner glow I do actually use for the logo, the Call of Duty Ghost logo, the skull, if you will. And it's basically the same thing, guys. I like to keep it around the same thing. I don't really, change much. I like to keep it, around the same thing. And it actually looks, pretty darn nice. So skip all that. Go straight down to outer glow right here. And basically just the same thing, guys. 3511. Hope I'm not going too fast for you guys. And as it goes for the skull, actually, okay, I got dissolve on. I looked at the skull and I was like, that's not right. Okay, there we go, normal. All right, and then one more thing for the skull, I like to do the drop shadow, of course. Now, this one might be a little bit different. Opacity, I like to do 100. And the distance, and I did 20, I believe, on the gun. See, that's a little bit too far away, so I bump it down to actually 10, and that actually looks really nice. And also, the size is 10 as well. And as you can see, it kind of like faded it out a little bit, so that actually looks pretty nice. Still not done yet, guys. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this skull here. And what I like to do, I got this, my own logo and stuff like that. So I like to add that to my thumbnails. So I like to add it on the other side over here to the right, opposite of the skull. And as you can see, that is way too big. So what you're going to do, you are going to do Control T on it. And every time you do Control T on a layer or picture or whatever, go ahead and hold down Shift, please, because that will actually keep your aspect ratio and stuff like that. So we're just going to shift it down to a good size and stuff like that, and that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And now what I like to do is go to layer style blending options. Now I don't change my logo that much. I do put a stroke on it just because this stroke on the background is rainbow and stuff like that. And then when you put the logo on there, that covers up the right side and the bottom here. I like to get that back by putting a stroke on the logo here. So we're going to go to gradient and do rainbow, and do reverse, do reflected. Let's take reverse reflected off and see how it looks. Okay, yeah, reverse reflected. So yeah, the stroke for this, I actually like to keep it around no more than actually 5. So let's try 5. That actually looks pretty good. I like that. So we're going to keep it there. And that's actually all I do. Actually, no, sorry guys. I actually do inner glow. So I do change it a little bit. That doesn't really see, as you can see, I don't know if you can actually see it there, but yeah, it actually put a glow right there on the edge. It doesn't actually change or affect the the logo. It just puts a glow on the inside and outside of the rainbow here. So go to normal, 3511 is what I normally like to do. And we also do a outer glow, same thing with the glow, normal 3511 of course, and press OK. So we're almost done, guys. I hope you have made it this far into the video. I'd really appreciate it if you left a like, guys, and I'd really appreciate that. But anyway, alright guys, so we're not done yet. We have to still add some text and stuff like that. So how we do that is go over here to the navigation bar, or the the tools menu, if you will. I don't really know what to call it, but anyway, we go over here to the text, or the T over here, which actually stands for the horizontal type tool. And what I like to do is type, like I said, I got a series on my channel and stuff like that. So what I like to do is at the top here, also you can change at the top, you can change your font over here in this area. You can change it to your liking, as you can see there, but I like to keep it at 200. Also, you can change your font, of course. You'll probably already know how to do that, but I like to keep it on impact. So in case you want to know what font I'm using and stuff like that, I'm using impact, just because I like the way it looks, and it looks bold and stuff like that. But anyway, so what I like to type on this thumbnail would be I use, and I do all caps. So that's what I do, and all caps is they're big, they're big letters, and it takes up a lot of room, and that is the way you want a thumbnail to be. You don't want small stuff on your thumbnail and stuff like that. You want to have appealing stuff, and they need to be big and stuff like that. You also want it to be clean. So what I mean by clean is you don't want it to be crammed in there, have a lot of stuff in there and stuff like that. You want to be look clean and stuff like that. So I'm gonna type I use. Actually, we're gonna have a space right there. There we go. And we're just gonna move this down here, just like so. And we're gonna go ahead and do rectangle marquee tool, excuse me guys, and we're gonna highlight that, and we're gonna go back to the move tool, and we're gonna, of course, edit, undo. We're just gonna center that, make sure it's in the center of the page. Alright, so we're gonna go to layer style blending options, and we're gonna style this text here. What I like to do is bevel, emboss, contour, of course. The stroke I like to do black, and I actually put it on 5. That looks nice and bold, as you can see there. And also, I don't do inner shadow, I do inner glow though. And of course, make it white, the normal 3511, of course, like we've been doing this whole time, guys. And yes, I actually do use gradient overlay. I do black to gray gradient right here. I do reverse, I do reflected, and I change the opacity to 17, and it kind of gives a silver look and stuff like that, and it looks really nice. So that's the way I like to do it. Outer glow, of course, same thing, and put it normal 35. Of course, the size has to be 11, and I like to do a drop shadow, and it's also the same thing, normal, and we do 100, and we do 20 for the distance, and the size we do 10. And last but not least, guys, I like to, okay, we might need to move that down just a little bit there. And once again, we're going to see if we can actually make this centered, and it looks centered nice. And we have one more thing. What I like to do is I like it to say I use the vapor. So we're going to add a text down here, and we're going to put the, okay, that's spelled wrong. The Vepper, and we're going to go ahead and place this down a course. Once again, center it. Okay, as you can see there, the centering actually put it too close to that. So if that happens, I like to just, move it back. It won't hurt us too much. Okay, that looks good. And layer style blending options, of course. And bevel and emboss, contour, and stroke, a 5. Inner glow, white, normal, 3511. All right. And we move on to gradient overlay here, and now it is a black to gray gradient. We actually want to change that. So we just click on that, and what I like to do is this orange to yellow, or orange, yellow, orange, whatever you want to call it, and reverse reflected. All right, and I like to do outer glow, same as usual. And a drop shadow, once again, same as usual. And press OK. And we are done, guys. As you can see, I would probably like to move this up just a little bit. And yeah, there we go. There is the thumbnail that I actually showed you guys in the first part of this video. Hope you have made it this far, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Don't forget to save it, file, save as, save it wherever you like. I like to save it as a JPEG, and as you can see, there is all my other thumbnails. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for today. Don't forget to save it, like I said, and thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have enjoyed. If you have any suggestions for another how-to video, leave them in the comments below, and thanks for watching, guys.